तुमादिदेवः पुरुषा पुराणः तुमस्य विश्वस्य परम निधानम वेत्तासि वेद्यम च परम सधाम त्वया ततं विश्वमनंत रूप वायु यम अग्निवर्ण शशांकः प्रजापतिस्त्वं प्रपितामहस्य नमो नमस्तेस्तु सहस्रकृत्वा पुनश्च भूयोऽपि नमो नमस्ते. You are primeval God, the primordial spirit. You are the ultimate shelter of universe. You are knower, the noble and supreme abode. The universe is fully pervaded by you, being of definite forms. You are the God of wind, God of death, God of fire and water, the moon god and great grandfathers of beings. We salute to you thousands sometimes and again. Last session I have described about unsymmetrical cause of mind, and today in this session I want to put is second matter, second subject. Why is mind restraint necessary? This sixth important element of divine nature is the specific element. In the human body, for the sake of rendering as uniqueness, it is said that a seeker with a controlled mind attains siddhi perfection, and a person with an unsymmetrical mind is destroyed and continues to travel through various types of demonic worms. In this way, a person with restrained mind finds happiness in the path of well-being, and by attaining the ultimate position, he becomes free, and person with the unrestrained mind suffers sorrow. Human beings who desire their welfare and the interest have restrained the mind and have oriented in it towards the thought of God's subject, where a person feels the ultimate happiness or ecstasy. We can achieve happiness by restraining the mind, and the cause of teeth is believed to be unsymmetrical. For this reason, control the mind is necessary. Generally, every human wants happiness and wants godness. Whether is a person of any nature, people of criminal nature and evil person also want happiness, and the desire of happiness they commit misdeeds and crimes. This is a simple fact. Although they do not get happiness as a result of their misdeeds, they get trapped in the whirlpool of miseries. Why does a man commit misdeeds and crimes? When you consider it as a root cause, you will find that the misdeeds and crimes are implemented by people with unsymmetrical mind. The ignorance of the mental thoughts, undesirable desires and people with enjoyment, I push them. Then, if man restrain his mind, he will completely abandon crime and misdeeds. Due to this, restraint and control of mind is also necessary. The responsibility of in comprehension of all human beings is based on thinking of mind. That is whatever we do every day. Every moment, every moment is based on thinking of mind. Man works like that. If a man thinks good deeds, then he does auspicious deeds, and if he thinks about inauspicious karma, then he stored inauspicious deeds based on the thought of the mind. That is a relation of the work and thinking in the mind is the reason. Now you will easily understand the importance of thinking of mind. The whole work of human life based on mind's thoughts. An unsymmetrical mind would think, which is a result proves to be very painful of human. Immediately there does not seem to be any effect or consequences of this, but the executing the idea that the unsymmetrical mind has thought, we face many kinds of miseries and ultimately sad for this reason completes restrain the control of mind and necessity. The requirement is not only necessary for human life but also essential in this way. If we control the mind, then we can achieve the ultimate goals of human life, liberation and suffer uninterrupted life after death by keeping the mind unsymmetrical and after death are hell-bent. So this thought is presented before you. Why is mind restraint unnecessary? What is the cause? And why is mind restraint necessary? This is a necessary fact. I should control the mind. And now I am presenting before you how to control the mind. This is very important subject, and I want to present before you. There are two ways of control this sixth aspect of apara prakriti and the mind, which is called practice and quietness, give a proper overview of both. What is practice? The mind is said to be fickle and predicatable, and its veracity and preponderance can be tested and experienced. Where does he wander? Every person knows this fact. That is, we know which subject our mind is wandering about. The worldly subject, desires and pleasures are numerous. For this reason, due to the variance of mind, our subject matter is numerous. Not all of them can be classified in this connection. It can be said that by removing the desires that are roaming in worldly subjects, we should put them in the divine. You can also put a stimulating mind in our favorite. The main fact is that we have to stop thinking about desires, sensual matters, just as fickle baby again tries to run out of the house Again we keep an eye on him and catch him in a safe place. Let's bring, even if he cries, do not keep his eyes on him and hold him in his interest. We close it at home. In the same way, we forcefully remove the mind from worldly matters and place it in the divine. The mind runs again and we catch it again. We have do the action of bringing towards divine. You must have seen, you have experienced that the mind is so fickle that in a single moment it puts on many subjects. A new chain of thoughts comes out and does not end. If you do not think that the chain itself is at rest, that is, do not stop, then it flows like the flow of water. It goes on. We have a fasting to stop it. The practice of removing the minds spontaneously, pre-ordinate, pre-portation from the worldly subjects again and applying them to divine, and your favorite is called practice. By following as control, the seeker becomes oriented towards maturity of persistence in intake practice, restorative practice. When this happens, the mind becomes restrained and we are saved from unnecessary thinking. Some simple methods of practice. There can be many ways of practice to control the mind according to convenience of the work, situation, environment. The seeker adopts them, but I would like to present a discussion regarding each solution of practice. Chanting the name of God. Chanting a mantra should be done peacefully with speech. Chanting the name or speaking the mind with a voice can take care of its script. Chanting mantras with speech and keeping the mind on script. Gradually, the fickle mind is taught to settle because God resides in our heart. That is why his listens to mantras chanted by us with speech, just like when we give a voice to call a person, he gets attracted to us after listening to the address of name and knowing his relation. This is the reason for chanting the name with the voice. By the way, God is everyone's friend. He is sympathetic towards everyone, but whoever casts him again, he is definitely attracted towards him. Hears the voice of earlier, accept the pair. Chant the mantra, the mind can be attracted to his script. There is 5 senses organization, human beings, which are called the eye, nose, tongue, and skin. Ear. Quality of ear is sound. Quality of eye is seen. Quality of tongue taste. Quality of eye is seen. And the subject of skin is touch. And the nasal subject is smell. Just like when we see any beautiful scene from the eyes, the mind also goes there. There is differences of 1 second between seeing seen and reaching the mind. We can call this interval immediately. If we see a beautiful view, then our mind is also taken there. That is there a cooperation of mind in this way. The mind also enjoys the beautiful scene with eyes. The mind remains with each knowledge center. The mind trapped as sensory subjects becomes uncontrolled and behaves unsymmetrically. When the mind gets trapped as sensory matters, its state becomes completely unsymmetrical. In such a situation, the speed of mind becomes with the help of sensory subject. This is the incontinence and control of mind. If the mind to be controlled by practice, then we should practice separating it from subjects. The obvious fact is that until the senses are controlled, our mind will remain uncontrolled. In this way, the mind becomes uncontrolled by the control of sensory subjects. In human, the breathing question means that the life of the air and come out and automatically and a natural process. The process is continuously moving. This action never ends in all the three stages: awakening, dreaming, and sleeping. Period. We can experience this in the awakened state. Breathing questions are considered to be basis of consciousness of the body, and it can control the mind. The clarify the importance of the breath question. We should like say that if you want to sleep, then let the mind engage with the speed of breath question in an interval of 5 to 10 minutes. You will have deep sleep and you will fall asleep immediately. In this process, you should not lose your mind off at the speed of breathing question. Many seekers resort to number, that is counting, to keep the mind as the speed of breathing question, like when they exist, the breathing up to when inside of breath. In this sequence, the count increases. If you have set your mind at the speed of breathing question, then you will fall asleep before the count of 100. Many seekers fall asleep before the count of 56, 50, 60. Thus, to control the mind, the breath question is also a specific means on which we have to apply the mind. The mind is also controlled by this means. This type of instrument also has many other benefits. Like removing laziness and cramp in the body, controlling high blood pressure and cessation of headache, etc., are also restrained by this action. The seeker should try to control the mind by focusing this mind on speed of breathing. It has both physical and spiritual benefits. Quietness controls the mind. Everything in this world is perishable, changing. What is today, it will not be tomorrow. There is definite fact, the law of continual change applies to every person and everything. When everything is perishable, it is flawed to be fascinated by it and to accept its welfare from it. These are the definite rules. Our disorientation of peace comes only when we consider the internal and perishable things to be eternal and indestructible, and becomes enamored to them. The attachment gives great momentum to our state of mind. God is only happiness. What your is the word is possible. Understanding this, renounce the affection and relationship in the word and affinity of God of affection. Taking a cold interest in the process of disinterest, we reject the power of the word or passive. They break, lies him, breaking the relationship with the power of word automatically ends the fickleness of mind, because the main reason of mindlessness to the maintain control with the power of mind, the absence of obsessive affection of the world and human beings in which we hope for the happiness, makes our mind fickle. By doing adverse action, the mind becomes controlled, because of this mind is controlled gradually in disinterested and takes shelter of God. So this is some facts about the mind. In this session, the description of mind has become end. And in tomorrow's session, I want to say something about the seventh element of nature, that is to be said wisdom or intellect. Om Shahnavavatu Shahnav Bhunaktu Shahaviryam Karvavahai Jasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.